Well, guess what? It's you, Leo. This one's for you. You know the drill. Watch for your sun and your moon and your rising, Leo. This is Tarot Illumination with your August 2017 general, okay? Now, you, Leo, are probably already fully aware it's Leo eclipse season. Leo and Aquarius, okay? There's going to be a full moon eclipse with the Aquarius moon early August, and then a new moon eclipse right at the end in Leo, right at the end of August. And there's a Leo new moon right at the end of July, just to get you warmed up. So that's a lot of Leo energy, okay? So you might be feeling like you're really under the spotlight, so to speak. Also, there's a lot of retrograde planets right now. Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto all retrograde, mostly through the month. And then there's going to be Mercury retrograde. So that's a lot of retrogrades. You know what happens. It's just like rewind, 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 reboot, revisit, reevaluate, repair, refurbish. And refurbish is the theme. It seems to have turned into the whole theme for this August general playlist from Tarot Illumination, because we just started going that way, and then all of a sudden it picked up a lot of momentum. So we're just going to do the same for you, Leo. With the eclipses, as you know, I'm sure you know, whatever's not working for you, according to spirit, according to the energy of heaven, will be eclipsed away. That's part of the refurbishment process. That's if you think of yourself as a computer, and it's a perfectly solid computer, the frame is great and everything, but all the softwares and the operating systems, all those like invisible things of the computer, like the code, the actual digital codes, redundant, obsolete, infected, full of viruses, need to be upgraded, typically completely removed and completely replaced, not just tweaked, a complete refurbishment. That's what's going on here. And the energy is going to extend for many months. So we're just heading into it now. And the eclipses are where you might feel the process as it starts to pick up momentum. Let me just do one more little shuffle. The cards were well shuffled in advance, but I like to go up to the very last second so that you witness having a clean deck. Now we're going to cut. We're going to make it pretty extreme. And then you go for it. All right. So imagine, like we did with all the other signs, like you're on a conveyor belt and you're going into this big black box where they do the refurbishing, and then you come out the other side. It's like when you're going to one of those big car wash things, and it just gets, the car gets dragged through, and all the belts and the whirligigs and the sprays and the hoses. Or pretend you're going to your computer repair shop. However you want to imagine the refurbishment. Okay. So here's the general vibe. Here's where you're coming from, coming into the season. Here's where you are, the perpetual now of this particular reading. And then moving forward into, let's call it the black box, to really like get into that refurbishment process. How are you going to get through that effectively? What does it feel like? What's coming at you as you move forward through the process? And what would be your ultimate wish and hope for it to all work out? And what would be your ultimate fear in case it didn't? And this is where it ends up anyway, regardless. So I'm trying to do this as a heart reading from heart energy, from the energy of love, so to speak, the energy of heaven, as opposed to a technical reading by the book, by the cards. And it's a journey. So it's a heart, very, very, very much a heart-based journey. And we're starting here, and it goes all the way through here. So I'm hoping you can kind of see the shape of this, all right? It's not a love reading. Those are coming soon, okay? But for now, just treat this as a general, broad energy reading for you, Leo, going into the August eclipse season. And don't forget, Leo, it's all about the Leo North Node too, because the eclipses are very tied to the nodal axis. So the whole idea, along with the other reports, is Leo Mark 1 gets the chance to become Leo Mark 2, the upgrade, okay? So on the bottom card, this is like an energy that's surrounding all of this, okay? So it's a golden opportunity for you, Leo, to have a fresh new start. It's literally like becoming the bright new shiny Leo that you needed to become, because you've already probably done an awesome job being Leo for the last few years. But, you know, just like with computers and cars and our physical bodies, things wear out. They need maintenance. You go to the dentist, you go to lawyers to take care of this stuff, you go to doctors to take care of that stuff, you go to accountants, you do all sorts of stuff just to keep your life going, okay? Let alone the things like eating and sleeping and working and having jobs and going to school and families and stuff, and relationships, oh my gosh. So with this reading, Leo, it's an opportunity to get to the truth of things and how things are actually going to work. You're going to get the most awesome upgrade possible. It's the perfect time, the right place for you. And you are a Leo, so you're like, it's like you're heading right into it. And the energies, like everything that's obsolete and redundant about you, Leo, is going to be eclipsed away. And that's just how it works with eclipses. They're very, very strong transits, and they're kind of like no going back type of energy. So pretend you're on the conveyor belt going into the black box, and this is the energy spraying all over the place. It's like that's what they use in the sprays and everything, and you come out the other side. Now we're going to go into the reading in just a moment, but this is just very, very supportive energy for you as you go through and come out the other side of the eclipses. And please understand that this eclipse energy is going to have a ripple effect for many months to come. So if you want to, you can treat this as a general reading for many months to come, even though it's just 8 little cards. Okay, so let's have a look. What's the general vibe? Bam! Okay, so maybe you needed a massive, major refurbishment. And it might just be Leo, because you're kind of in the front line of this refurbishment. You might have been the one who's been carrying the most amount of redundant, obsolete ways of being. And as they all fall apart, as they all become eclipsed out of your life and removed to make way for the new downloads and the new upgrades, it might be quite a shocking experience to you, because you might have been doing a really awesome job carrying yourself as Leo Mark I for a very long time without even knowing how corrupted and obsolete and redundant and virally infected all the operating systems had become. You know, the different softwares inside of you, like your belief systems, your attitudes, your habits, your upbringing from childhood, everything that you learned in your schools and colleges and whatever, everything that was forced upon you that you didn't want, all your relationship dynamics and issues that went well and the things that went horrifically wrong, all of that is integrated inside of your being as code, like operating code. And a lot of it might just be like cluttered, piled up on top of redundant, obsolete. It's like having a full hard drive and a fully corrupted operating system, and it's just crashing. So that's almost perfect, because it means you're going to have a completely free and open framework in which to dump in and download the new upgrades that you need, Leo, to become Leo Mark II. So please, please treat the Tower as a beautiful blessing, as a beautiful gift, because from my perspective at Tarot Illumination, it's one of the ultimate power healing cards, because everything that gets ripped away, eclipsed away, that is no longer functional or serving you, and you get the chance for the whole new stuff to come in. So what are you coming into the month with? This is the vibe energy that's going to be pulsing through for this whole eclipse season, all right? So it's pretty powerful stuff. In other words, it might be shockingly exciting for you, Leo, as you go through this. What are you coming in with? Okay, it might be a little bit feeling, not too sad or anything, but a realization that you might be having to walk away from an awful lot of stuff that you loved or you thought you loved, because, you know, we can become so immersed in our ways of being, all the joys, all the sorrows, all the dramas, all the events, all the history, and that piles up, and you start to call that your life, okay? But in some ways, it's actually your past. And as soon as the past exists, it's already gone. And then all of a sudden you realize the only thing that counts is the present. And that can be shocking in some ways. Because you might have a wonderful history behind you, Leo. Oh, I did this and I did that, and this was a nightmare, and that worked out awesome. And can you remember when we did this and we did that? And oh my God, I had a complete breakdown, and then I met the most perfect love of my life, and then. But that's all in the past. And you're coming into the eclipses, and it's very much about reformatting yourself for the future, what we call the future. It's all continuous, but in terms of earthly time, we call it the future, which might make you feel as though you're going to be leaving an awful lot of stuff behind. And you might be, might have been emotionally attached to that to some degree, but there also might be a very deep subconscious realization that there is this whole new thing happening. Like, even if you're like not a hardcore tarot junkie, astrology junkie, and you track all this stuff every day. Let's just say you're a regular Leo and you just showed up here at Tarot Illumination by accident out of curiosity. We're trying to read for you as well, okay? You don't have to be an astro tarot genius to visit Tarot Illumination. It can work for anybody and everybody if you have an open mind. So let's say you're kind of innocent and you're falling into this and you're realizing, oh my God, I ended up on Tarot Illumination channel because maybe it's like fate or something, and I needed to hear this message. And yeah, you might have been very wedded to all these like emotional things that had so much like apparent warmth and emotional attachment for you, and then realizing as you head into August and through the eclipse season and coming out, like, I might have to let all this stuff go. Seriously? This is my life. This was my life. And then you realize, oh my God, that was my life. And a whole new life is starting to unfold here. It's just a process, because the eclipses, you cannot escape them. It's irreversible. And if you resist the process, you just make your life miserable. And it's like saying, I refuse to evolve. Thank you. I'd rather be stuck in my own drama and my own misery and live with all my obsolete doo-doo. Okay, so let's have a look at the present, the eternal present, the Emperor. Okay, so we've got some pretty strong cards here for you, Leo, coming into August. So I'm gonna call this out in a way that you might not like, but I feel obliged to call it out because I felt it very, very strongly. Leo, you'd like to feel like you are the master of your destiny, the ruler of your kingdom, your world. Literally, Leo is a very regal sign. It is like the king of the jungle sign, and Leo needs to be very expressive and generous and fun and happy. And Leo needs to be appreciated as well. Leo needs to be respected, okay? Now with the Emperor, there is no ambiguity here. The Emperor is the absolute boss of their world. And what might happen is, with this Tower energy here and this Eight of Cups here, you might feel as though like your sense of sovereignty and dominion over your empire, the Leo empire, your whole world, is being threatened, being shaken about, where like, I don't know if I can handle this. Like, are you telling me at Tarot Illumination that I, the Emperor of Leo world, may be shaken up to the point where I may not have full Emperor rulership and dominion over myself? And then the reading says, kind of, yeah, Leo, kind of, yeah. And then Leo Mark 1, remember, Leo Mark 1, it's kind of almost like a shocking awakening, because, I mean, Leo especially, but anyone who likes to be tapped on the shoulder and said, excuse me, Leo, I don't know if you're aware of this, but you're headed for a massive refurbishment. It's okay. You're getting the notice here from Tarot Illumination. It's okay, but just letting you know, it might shake you up quite a bit. And You might have been convinced that Leo Mark 1 is all you ever needed to be, and the universe is telling you that no, there is a whole new Leo Mark 2 waiting for you on the other side of the refurbishment black box. So you're going to get on a conveyor belt, go into this weird black box called the Eclipses and the Leo North Node, and you're going to come out the other side. You're going to become the Leo that you've never known before, the awesome upgraded Leo, okay? It's not flipping a switch to make it happen. It's a process. This is going to go on for months, but the actual process begins now in August, okay? It's where, if you think of the conveyor belt analogy, you're coming in from over here. In August, right at the end of July is when you know those like flappy plastic veils they usually have at the front of a car wash machine, massive car wash machine, and you drive into it and you go through those flappy things. That's where you're headed and going into that. And then you're going to come out the other side, sparkleized, right? So, and it might be a very kind of weird, shocking, disorienting experience for you. So, but it's the same for everybody. So you don't have to take it personally. No one's trying to beat you up or insult you or degrade you or say that you are not worthy or you are not a real Leo or anything like that. Because this whole eclipse analogy that we're using for all the readings, it's the same for everybody. And especially for you, Leo, because it's going to be right in your face. It's right about you, your personality, your identity, the person that you are in this world that everybody else sees as you. Okay, so moving forward, as you go into the belts, and you're actually inside the black box now, what happens? Okay, this card has repeatedly appeared in these readings. What happens is, it's almost like the first thing they do is they're going to rip you open, and they're going to do a complete rapid scan. They're going to say, okay, we need to do this, this, and this, and this. We need to pull out this software, this junk, this piece of hardware, and that one, and clean it all out. But first and foremost, we have to look at the core, the absolute core, the processor. And that is the heart of you, Leo. And what they're going to discover and what you're going to discover is that you have a very pulsing, powerful heart love energy. And that's basically the framework. Let's just say you, Leo, are this computer thing, the gadget itself. And inside is all this redundant stuff that's going to be eclipsed and replaced with the cool new stuff as part of the refurbishment. What's going to happen is, as you get into the box, is the first thing you're going to notice is that you, the frame yourself, you, Leo, are already, it's just your natural state of being. You're full of heart, love, and joy energy, generosity, and giving. This is the Queen of Cups. And she almost doesn't know what to do with all the love energy that she can carry. And she loves to wear the crown. She loves sharing her love with others. She loves spreading the love. She loves spreading the message. She loves delivering love. And it's almost like the more she gives, the more she has to give. And that could be a surprise to you, Leo. You might not have been aware of how big a heart you have, how much love you have to share and give. And all that's going to happen in the refurbishment, the first thing that's going to happen is they're going to rip you open and say, yes, we're just confirming on their checklist. They're going to go check, 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 check. Yeah, Leo is fully integral. The framework itself is solid. The foundations are just fine. We're going to be fine. All we have to do is the traditional refurbishment of all the stuff that's obsolete, because at the core, Leo is absolutely perfect, okay? So that's awesome to know, okay? You're full of heart energy. This is Queen of Cups, ultimate love energy, just spreading out there with generosity. It's really like what you do, Leo. So that's very, very encouraging. So you don't have to despair. You don't have to feel as though you're having to walk away from everything that you've loved and known before. It might be shocking, this whole eclipse thing for you. Even if you're highly advanced and you're fully appraised of all of this, it could still be shocking. And it could be a very rattling thing for your ego. In other words, to understand and accept the fact that there's no way out of it. You're going to become Leo Mark II, and Leo Mark I is going to become obsolete, and that's just the end of it. So how are you going to cope and get through this process as you go grinding through the black box over these next few weeks, and in fact, over the next few months. How? You're just going to let go. This is the Fool card. It's literally, it's like saying, you know what? It's okay. I'm a Leo. I'm very powerful. I'm very strong. I'm very bright and shiny. I'm very loving. I'm caring. I'm very, very generous and bright. And I love being that way. I'm very creative. I'm inspiring. I'm courageous. I take the risks. I'm just an awesome being. And I know that. I don't have to shout it out all the time or prove it, but generally, people recognize that. And I'm used to being that way, and that's cool. It's just that the refurbishing, if I'm honest, as a Leo, it's a bit of a shock to me. But you know what? Since you just told me, as coming into the refurb, that I am fine, I am that ultimate Leo, and it's going to be fine, then you know what? Leo, I've decided, you know what? Just bring it on. Guys, girls, however you do this stuff, all the archangels and angels, you coming in, piling there, squirting me with this, injecting me with that, ripping out this, pulling out that stuff. Just go for it. I'm a Leo. I'm awesome. I can handle it. No big deal. It's going to be fun. And I'll just tell you truthfully, I'm a Leo, and I am so brave and courageous that I am just going to do this, and I'm going to do it in a way that I just kind of like, I'm going to abandon myself to you guys, the official refurbishers. Let's say there's just a whole battery out there, a whole team of angels and archangels that are working on you through spirit, through heaven, and they're going to do all of that stuff for you. And it's going to affect your relationships, your home, your family, your work habits, your health, your spirituality, your wisdom, your sense of community and family, your whole life, your whole world. And you know what? And you're Leo, and you're saying, you know, it's okay. I can handle it. I think it's just going to be an amazing thing. In fact, I'm just going to accept and surrender that I'm just going to end up being Leo Mark II, the awesome new Leo Mark II, and it's going to be fabulous. I have no idea how it's actually going to happen or when or how this is all supposed to play out, but you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. It's just going to be awesome. I'm just going to trust you guys because Terra Lumination said so. So there you go. Thank you very much. All right. So what does that bring in? In other words, what is the energy that starts to come at you now that you're getting deep into the refurbishment process? You're living through the eclipses and then starting to come out the other side and starting to see the light at the other side. Look. Do you see? You see all these love cards here, Leo? What it does, it kind of like softly, gently, it's almost like as you're coming through, remember this is a big, long reading. It's gonna have a ripple effect for months, okay? So what could come at you is like almost like a reawakening where whatever you thought you might have lost and loved and left behind, it's going to be replaced by something much more beautiful. This is the little Six of Cups. Some people think of it as a soulmate card. Right now in this reading, what I feel, it's a card of recognizing like your heritage, Leo, like your divine heritage. Like say you're a multi-generational Leo and you're becoming aware that you've been through an awful lot and come out the other side, and you have a legacy, you have a history, you have a past, you have a nostalgia. But instead of looking at it as something that you have to walk away from, what's actually going to happen in the refurbishment process, it's going to allow all this amazing, beautiful new energy that's going to come to you, the little Six of Cup energy, which is almost like the energy that you've dreamed of, wished of, that you could have always had, but you never had the chance before. Because this is like coming to you from the past. It's almost like you know how you have that, what they call soul contracts out there? Like before you're born, they talk about having soul contracts. And when you come into life, the contracts are honored at different chapters in your life. What can happen with this eclipse season, at this chapter in your life, it might feel as though deep down in your soul, you knew this was coming. It's a soulmate contract. Either as a soulmate contract with yourself, and you are now going to honor that to become the new Leo Mark II, or it could actually include attracting these very, very significant new relationships and people into your life that all contain the love energy, not the swords, not the this or that, but specifically heart energy, love energy. And it's almost going to be like the feeling like, oh my God, it's my team, it's my people. It's almost like, you know, those pictures and things they show you on YouTube about like dying and going to heaven, reuniting with your family. It's that kind of energy where all the people that you love, all the circumstances and situations that you love and need and always dreamed that you knew would exist, it's actually coming at you in this life, in this physical life, in this world. Like, oh my God, like when this new person or situation arrives in your life as part of the new refurbishments, the new downloads, you're going to recognize them and you're going to realize, oh my God, this is that thing that I remember from a decade ago where I was dreaming about becoming a new Leo, and I would be with the right people, the right time, and right places for this stuff to happen. And now it's actually happening. It's so cool and it feels so good. It's so beautiful to recognize a soulmate. It's so wonderful to recognize soul groups, soul families, soul people, soul situations that are kind of like reflections of you, the loving, high frequency version of Leo that is starting to happen here. Remember, okay, the obsolete Leo Mark I is being, you know, refurbished, and your Leo Mark II is coming out of it. But it's with a very, very new perspective. It's still all about the love energy, the heart energy, which is great, but it's a whole upgrade, and it's so beautiful. It's almost like you're going to have even more love than ever before, and figuring out, what am I supposed to do with all this now? Because it's almost like, oh, I'm so freaking lucky. Like, I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to go through it, and it's going to be awesome. And I trust you. It's going to be awesome. And then I'm going to experience these awesome, beautiful, like, upgrades. It's all about the love energy, and it's going to come at you. And it's going to be stuff that you recognize and know. It's going to feel beautiful. Now, as you go through the process, of course, you could get moments where when you're letting go of all the stuff that's redundant, you might want to grab a hold of that. Like, as one of the angels come in and says, excuse me, Leo, that part there specifically, it is redundant. We've already checked. It's no use. It's actually obstructing you, so it has to go. So they pull it out. And you say, no, 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 that's the one I love. That's the part of me that I really, really love. Those are all my wounds and sufferings. That's my history. That's all my pain and sorrow and all the drama. And that's what identified me as me. And then angels say, it's okay, Leo. It's all in the past. It's all got to go, because you've got this coming in and it's much better. Excuse me? Thank you. And then you say, Leo, okay, well, if you say so, I'll just gracefully accept that you guys in the refurb department, you know what you're doing. Okay? So what could possibly scare you if it all went wrong? Okay, that it doesn't work. This is almost like a Leo card. This is the King of Wands. But also, let's just say even if you were caught by surprise by all these eclipses, or let's say you were very appraised and you understand a lot about what we're talking about here, then it could be that, like, if you're scared that this won't happen, don't worry. It's going to happen anyway. There's no escape. It's the eclipses. So if deep down you were wishing and hoping that, oh my God, if I'm actually going to have to go through this and live through this, and this massive transformational process of the eclipses and the refurbishment, I hope that I'm going to come out the other side, get back into the groove again, so I can start to be an awesome Leo again, and wear the crown, wear the robes, and just be this awesome Leo energy who inspires others, who's very happy to be out there on the stage, the front lines of life, being a guide, being a lighthouse, being a leader for other people, because that's what Leo's really, really about. Leos are the ones who take the risks and jump out there in front of everyone else and do cool, fun stuff that everyone else wants to do. And then when Leo does it and says like, wow, it's so much fun, it's cool, why don't you join me, people? Then that's being a true Leo. That's being a true leader, okay? And then other people go, oh my God, I see what you're saying, Leo. Let's do it. I want to do that too. What do I do and how do I do it? And then Leo says like, well, just watch me. Okay, cool. So that's what you're hoping for, to get back to you being like the rock star Leo, the movie star Leo, the leader Leo, the awesome Leo that you always know that you are at your core anyway. The new Leo Mark II coming back. But remember, this is a long-term process here. It's not just a few weeks in August. Where does that take you? Bam! Okay, so it might be, as part of the shock here about what's happening, it might be that, let's say you get through this and you start to move through this. It might be such a shocking process, the whole, because it's so heavily Leo oriented with this eclipse energy. You might be almost so overwhelmed by it, like even like just by gracefully surrendering to the process and allowing the good new stuff to come into your life and your world that feels like delicious soulmate energy, like you always knew and wanted. And let's say it really does work out and you get your hope and you get to be like the refurbished new awesome Leo. It could be that it's such a shocking new version of you that it almost like takes you by surprise, like to the point where you've got to take a breather for a bit. And before you jump back onto the stage again, back into the lights, being the full-blown lighthouse Leo, you got to step in. You got to actually like take some time and absorb all this and fully understand. No one else can do that. Only you can do that. You have to fully digest and integrate the full new Leo Mark II. And since you're the only one who can do it, even if you get a lot of reflection from others to do it, still on the inside, you're the only one who can actually do it. Because like we were indicating for a lot of the other signs, it is a step process. It's not just going to be click, oh, I'm fixed, and in September, bam, it's all cool. No, it's a long-term process. And as you go through the process, it might be very humbling. So deep inside, you might realize that, excuse me, I'm locking myself in the bathroom and I'm just going to admit to myself, I am this awesome new Leo Mark II, but if I'm honest about it, I'm not quite sure how to conduct myself as this new Leo. So if you don't mind, I shall just gracefully take my time and integrate this properly, doing it on my own if I have to. It's like an actor learning their lines. Sometimes it's great to have someone learning your lines with you, but ultimately you are the only one who can learn your lines. You have to learn your lines, and that means going deep within and learning your lines, Leo, so that you can come out and gradually improve and become the awesome Leo Mark II for the next 19.5 years. Okay? So there you go, Leo. I hope you get something out of it. I'm sorry I took so long to read this for you, but I had to get it out there. Maybe it's just because you're a Leo and you needed all of that extra stuff. So have an awesome eclipse season, Leo, and make the best of it. Reinterpret however you want. Watch your sun, moon, and rising. Thank you for visiting Tarot Lumination. I'm honored to read for you. Thank you. Thank you.